According to new reporting from Axios, President Trump's tweets just aren't packing the same punch anymore, with interaction falling dramatically in recent months despite a significant uptick in use. And
I wish somebody had charts on this.
Steve Ratner does.
Oh.
He has them. And
what a coincidence.
But you see, Trump can just pretend that he has a lot of people listening to him. I don't think he cares about reality, but what is the reality as it pertains to his tweets?
The reality is twofold. First of all, we all know that he has been our tweeter-in-chief. What maybe not everybody appreciates is the extent to which his tweeting has accelerated since the time he took office. He's gone from 6 tweets a day during his first 6 months in office to nearly 13 tweets a day in the most recent 6 months in office. And then just in this last month here, he hit an all-time high of 642 tweets and retweets.
He's been frantic.
That is 20
20
tweets per day for Donald Trump. So he is on a roll when it comes to
20 per day?
20 per day in the past month.
He's a tweeter.
Manic tweeting.
Over 600 tweets and retweets.
Tweet monster.
In fairness. So what Mika was alluding to is the question of whether people are still paying as much attention to his tweets. And the evidence shows that the interactions with his tweets, in other words, the number of times someone retweets a tweet or likes a tweet, has been dropping. And back here at the beginning of his administration, it was about 55 times out of 1,000 people would do this. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. But you can see the trend all the way down here. So he's gone from 55 times 1,000 down to 16 times 1,000 most recently. So his tweets are having a bit less impact. But the other fun fact that we should take a look at is what happened since the Mueller report, because that accounts for a lot of what's been going on. So if you go back and you look before the Mueller report, you can see that that he tweeted 61 times about no collusion, and then he went to 56 times. Then he went to 61 times no collusion in the 2 months before. So for 12 months, 56 times no collusion. For 2 months, 61 times no collusion. On obstruction, it's even more dramatic because he had only tweeted no obstruction 11 times during the previous year. And then since the Mueller report, he went to 34 times, i.e. once every other day. No obstruction. So every day for 60 days, no collusion. Every other day for 60 days, no obstruction. But I'll give you a fun fact to end with. This is not his main tweeting subject. His biggest tweeting subject has been
the wall?
Fake news. And his single biggest tweet was the video of the sumo wrestler taking down the guy with the CNN head-on. It was retweeted 930,000 times.
This is our president.
This is
Steve Ratner.
On the engagement question, whenever possible, I like to quote Professor Donnie Deutsch, the Upper East Side Institute of Politics.
We'll learn so much.
And he says, basically, you know, when Donald Trump started, when he came out in 2015, 2016, there was a novelty to these tweets. Oh my God, you can't say these things. Can you do those things? And Donnie says, now we're in season 7 of Celebrity Apprentice. We go, okay, we get it. We've seen the show. We're not interested anymore. On the tweets and the engagement, that sort of speaks to that, where people are just tuning it out at this point. Not everyone, but a lot of people.
Didn't Apprentice get crazier, though, as he was trying to attract attention?
I think those are the Busey years.
The Busey years.
Ask yourself this question. The woman at the Justin Amash's town hall last night who said, when she heard Justin Amash explain obstruction and what had occurred in the Mueller report, she said, I'd never heard of that before.
Right.
Never heard of anything in the Mueller report. That's out there thick.
Steve Ratner, thank you. Adrienne Elrod, what are you looking at today?
Well, Mika, the DNC this morning announced that they have new thresholds for the third debate. The thresholds have essentially doubled in terms of qualifying for the first 2 debates. So basically, candidates between June 28th, which is the day after the first debate starts, between June 28th and August 28th, which will be 2 weeks before the third debate, have to essentially receive 2% in 4 national polls and or authorized state polls in the first 4 early states. And also, not and or, which is currently the situation, but and raise 130,000 unique donations in at least 20 states. So these are new thresholds.
Interesting.
They will probably end up winnowing the field to an extent because, you know, look, Mika, if you're polling at 2% going into the fall of 2019, you're not going to become the next nominee. So at some point, there's got to be some sort of winnowing of the field. And this is a very fair process that the DNC is putting in place, which allows for transparency, which encourages grassroots donations, but also at the same time ensures that we don't have a debate stage with 20 people going into the mid-fall to early 2020.
There you go. That makes sense. And of course, the first debates are on MSNBC. Adrienne Elrod, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mika.
Coming up, the Supreme Court rules on one abortion case, but sidesteps the wider issue. What it means for the future of Roe v. Wade. And there's big news out of Missouri, which may lose its last remaining abortion clinic and become the first state without a legal provider since Roe v. Wade. We'll tell you about that just ahead and bring in former Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill for her take. We'll be right back.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.